We made it to Mount Rushmore. Can you see it?
It's a great view.
It's right there. Well, we ate lunch in the car.
Yeah.
We probably could have seen it because it was just raining then.
That's what you get. You snooze, you lose.
And now this fog came in. I mean, we've seen it from Custer State Park coming through the tunnels. We saw it driving up to the parking lot here. But now, Photoshop. So we sat in the car and we ate lunch, and we could see it driving up. We could see it driving into the parking lot, and then this fog came in. We got out of the car, came up here, and this fog came in. What do you think of it?
It's beautiful.
Is it just as nice as it was when you were 12?
I don't remember it being so foggy.
Do you recommend coming here?
Not today.
So, actually today we were going on a hike, and it wasn't supposed to rain till 3 o'clock, and we got there at 11:30 and it just started pouring. So we said, well, okay, let's go to this museum that's the guy who sculpted all this, and he also did a lot of other famous sculptures, and we thought, okay, we'll go there. We get there and there's nobody there, and it says it's closed for the whole time of Sturgis, so for like 2 weeks it's closed. So like, okay, well, let's just go up to Mount Rushmore, and we could see it, and now we can't.
Now it's nothing, zero.
So we're back, our second attempt to see Mount Rushmore.
Yes, and today it's sunny.
Sunny, it's warm, it's perfect. We thought since Sturgis technically ended yesterday that they would be gone, but that was too much to hope for.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go do the trail, and we'll show you what we found here. If you get a parking ticket, like if you're gonna come more than once in a year or more than once in a week, your parking ticket's good for a year.
Yeah, so once you pay, it's good for a full year, so make sure and keep that if you come here and want to spend some time.
Yeah.
Today we're lucky. We're going to go see it without fog and rain.
Yeah. The first thing that greets you when entering the memorial is the avenue of flags, with flags from all 50 states, 1 district, 3 territories, and 2 commonwealths of the United States of America. A ranger at Mount Rushmore National Memorial said, "The faces on the mountain just reach out and grab people, provoking a lot of patriotism many think they didn't have. It's amazing how people stand there for the longest time, not saying anything, and just looking up at that mountain." Those 4 figures carved into that mountain represent the first 150 years of American history. But this wasn't the original idea. It was actually for Western heroes like Oglala Lakota leader Red Cloud, explorers Lewis and Clark, and Buffalo Bill Cody. But sculptor Gutzen Berglund had a different idea. He argued, "We are not creating a monument to Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, or Roosevelt, but to the meaning of these 11 words. Man has a right to be free and to be happy, as developed into and maintained in a national government by these 4 great national leaders." Of course, that may have included everyone except the Sioux Nation. The mountain Berglund chose is on land that was promised to the Sioux Indians in the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1868. The treaty language stated that these lands should be reserved for the absolute and undisturbed use and occupation of the Indians. But in 1877, the U.S. federal government unilaterally seized the Black Hills, which contained Mount Rushmore and the gold in them there hills. So this will go all the way up and around, like we wanted to. Hey guys, so this is the prime view from the platform of the artist studio. That's the place to go. It's a lot less crowded down here, and it's really easy to see everything. We stood where Berglund stood when planning his carving of Mount Rushmore. In the late 1950s, the original studio was torn down. The only parts that remain are the 2 fireplaces, and today there is a terrace which showcases the original size and location of the studio. Sculptor Gutzen Berglund marked off the rock in which he would carve the likenesses of the 4 U.S. presidents, and then created the first model sculpture in his studio, where he worked out the ratio of inches to feet. The models were sized at a ratio of 1 to 12. 1 inch on the model would equal 1 foot on the mountain. The image of the sculpture was mapped onto the mountain using an intricate pointing machine that he designed. The original carving meant to include the bodies of the presidents down to their waists. If you can, plan the time to take the Presidential Trail to the base of Mount Rushmore. It gets you a lot closer to the carving than seeing it from the visitor center. The Presidential Trail is a little more than half a mile long and has 422 stairs down one side of it. We started from the east near the artist studio and climbed every one of those steps. Considering we started at about a mile-high elevation before the climb, we recommend you take the trail starting on the west and then go east. It's pretty accessible for most to the base, and then you can go down the stairs to the artist studio if you want, or there's an elevator near the studio as well. Beginning in 1927, Berglund, his son Lincoln, and 400 workers blasted the sculpture into the mountain, removing 450,000 tons of rock, which can still be seen piled in a debris apron all around below the carving. Often the story of how and why a place came to be is just as fascinating and important as the place itself. That certainly applies to the still in progress Crazy Horse Memorial, also in South Dakota's Black Hills nearby Mount Rushmore. To counter the soon-to-be completed faces of Rushmore, in 1939, Sioux Chief Henry Standing Bear invited sculptor Korczak Julkowski, who had worked briefly at Rushmore, to carve a memorial to the Sioux Nation in the Black Hills. Standing Bear became one of the first Native Americans to attend a government Indian school where he took on the name of Henry. His cross-cultural relationships, as well as finding new ways of preserving his people's culture and history, guided his life. Standing Bear was determined that there would be a memorial located in the Black Hills which honored his people. His continued search would eventually lead him to prize-winning sculptor Julkowski. Korczak met with Standing Bear and agreed to the project, but he wanted to avoid some of Mount Rushmore's financial troubles with government funding, so he personally bought this mountaintop with a granite ridge and financed the entire project privately. The memorial was dedicated in 1948 with the first blast on the mountain, and during his 36 years of working on the mountain, he refused to take any salary at Crazy Horse Memorial. Chief Crazy Horse was chosen because he was a great warrior who was instrumental in the victory of the Battle of Little Bighorn, also known as Custer's Last Stand. He later went to Nebraska's Fort Robinson under a flag of truce, where a possible communication error occurred, resulting in the attempt to jail him, and he fought back and was killed there at the fort. It is a well-known fact that Crazy Horse refused to have his picture or likeness taken. He lived under the assumption that by taking a picture, a part of his soul would be taken and his life would be shortened. The popular response to photograph requests would be, "Would you imprison my shadow too?" Although Korczak had dedicated his life to his promise to the American Indian people, he didn't know that he would marry Ruth Ross and they would have 10 children, and Crazy Horse would become a family story. The Julkowski children were free to leave as they reached adulthood, but 7 of the 10 remained involved in the project. Together, Korczak and Ruth prepared 3 books of comprehensive measurements for the mountain carving to ensure its continuation. In 1982, when Korczak passed away at the age of 74, Ruth served as the president and chief executive officer of the Crazy Horse Memorial Foundation. She said, "He left everything so we can carry on his work, and that's just what we're going to do. were dedicated to that. His whole life would be wasted if the mountain carving and the humanitarian goals are not completed. Ruth passed away in 2014. The Crazy Horse dream has been handed to the next generation, with 4 of the 10 Julkowski children and several grandchildren working to continue their legacy and that of Chief Henry Standing Bear. Her legacy will also include the additions of the Native American Educational and Cultural Center, as well as the Indian University of North America. The next phase of the carving will include carving Crazy Horse's left hand, left forearm, right shoulder, hairline, and part of the horse's mane and head in the next 5 to 10 years. There's links to more information for Mount Rushmore as well as the Crazy Horse Memorial down in this video's description.
Hey roamers, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Roaming with Rosie. For more information regarding this video, please check out the links in the video description below,
as well as products and equipment we use and recommend. We sometimes do receive a small commission when you use our links for purchases, which is a great way at no additional cost to you to help offset some of our production costs. Thank you so much for watching and sharing our videos and subscribing to Roaming with Rosie. We'd love to hear from you and encourage your comments and questions. Until next time, see ya!